Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to a new episode of This Business Insider. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for staying with Nile TV International. We're going to be talking here, dear viewers, about the situation and the status of the tourism industry here in Egypt amidst the recovery that the world is seeing from the COVID-19 pandemic and its repercussions, and also amidst of a new crisis that arose lately, which is the Russia-Ukraine war. And we are also going to be talking about all of the latest here regarding tourism in Egypt, the campaigns that are aimed at boosting the tourism industry in Egypt, the government efforts, the prior efforts during the COVID-19 pandemic, the financial easing and the loans and the grants that were given to tourism companies, the new museums that are being opened, the awaiting of great and very important events like the opening of GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum, which is to be the biggest cultural city in the world, and not just a museum, the renovations that are ongoing, and the efforts of the the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, and the reviews that Egypt is getting globally and the recommendations. And we are going to be doing all of that with our dear guest here in the studio, Dr. Ahmed El Hamzawi, international tourism expert. Thank you very much, Dr. Hamzawi, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Dear viewers, Dr. Hamzawi and I will be back after this short break. Please do not go away.
Tourism is one of the world's major economic sectors. It is the third largest export category after fuels and chemicals, and in 2019 accounted for 7% of global trade. For some countries, it can represent over 20% of their GDP, and overall, it is the third largest export sector of the global economy. International tourism continued to recover from the COVID-19 crisis at a strong pace in January-March 2022. Despite the strong rebound experienced in Q1 of 2022, international tourism remained 61% below 2019 levels. For Egypt, the report of the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development shows that investments in the tourism and antiquities sectors are expected to reach about £8.5 billion in 2021-2022, compared to about £5.2 billion expected in 2020-2021, with a growth rate of 64%, and compared to £5.5 billion in actual investments in 2019-2020. The country exerts great efforts to push the tourism sectors. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli met with international consultants in June to review revised draft of the Egyptian tourism promotion strategy that comes amid global disruptions to the crucial economic sector. The draft strategy comes as Egypt's tourism sector has been struggling recently to absorb the impact of the Russian-Ukrainian war, as the country heavily relies on visitors from both countries. This comes as the tourism sector had only just begun to pick up momentum in 2021, thanks to the return of the Russian tourists in Sinai and the holding of the high-profile events such as the Golden Parade in April and the opening of the Avenue of the Sphinx in Luxor in late November. According to the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, following the setback caused by the coronavirus pandemic, Egypt received 3.5 million tourists in the first 6 months of 2021, garnering revenues of $3.5 to $4 billion. On the 12th of June 2022, the Cabinet's Media Center published a video, the first part in a series named Egypt From Here, The Journey Begins, that aims to promote the country as one of the world's favorite tourist destinations. According to the video, Egypt was ranked by CNN Travel to be one of the top 10 tourist destinations worldwide in 2022. Egypt is also ranked first in Africa, fifth in the Middle East and North Africa, and 51st globally in the World Economic Forum's recently released 2021 in late May 2022, and in April the UK's Daily Mail news website selected Egypt as one of the best tourist destinations for the spring-summer of 2022, coming in second place on the list of top holiday destinations. Moreover, it added Egypt has been declared the second best diving destination in the whole world by Dive Magazine UK. 11 Egyptian airports obtained certificates of health accreditation for safe travel in 2021, the video mentioned. On June 18th, CEO of the Egyptian General Authority for Tourism Promotion, Amr El-Qadi, inaugurated the 14th Forum for Arab Tourism Media. The forum was inaugurated in the presence of a large number of influencers and representatives of major Arab media outlets, in addition to a group of Egyptian journalists, media professors, and tourism experts. It is worth mentioning that the forum's program includes field visits for participating Arab media professionals in the city of New El Alamein, the new administrative capital, and Hurghada, to witness the first-hand the great development undergoing in various Egyptian cities, underscoring the great importance of Arab tourism to Egypt. The Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities launched on June 30th a promotional campaign under the title Egypt Never Sleeps for the entire summer season. The campaign was launched to promote the summer season in Egypt, targeting the Arab market and the Gulf region, in addition to increasing domestic tourism in Egypt. Preparations for the 27th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Convention on Climate Change, COP27, which will be held in Sharm el-Sheikh next November, will also have great impact on tourism. Great efforts are exerted in the transformation of hotel establishments in Sharm el-Sheikh into green hotels. There are measures that have been implemented to declare Sharm el-Sheikh an environmentally friendly green city that preserves natural resources and ecosystems. The Ministry of Tourism is also working on how to invest the momentum that the conference will witness to promote the Egyptian tourist destination in general, and Sharm el-Sheikh in particular, and its diverse tourism patterns and products, in addition to the tourism programs that will be organized for the delegations participating in the conference to visit the tourist and archaeological sites in South Sinai.
All right, that was Abir Hussein and Rasha Abdelhamid with that report. Thank you very much, Abir and Rasha. And we're back here in the studio with our dear guest, international tourism expert, Dr. Ahmed El-Hamzawi, to discuss the situation of the status of the Egyptian tourism in the midst of the global situation. Allow me to start, Dr. Hamzawi, by something that really caught the attention, which is the new campaign launched by the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, Egypt Never Sleeps, to promote tourism in the summer, as the ministry launched a mere promotional campaign to revive domestic and inbound tourism from the Arab market during the summer. Can you talk to us about that campaign and the efforts targeting the big Arab market?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mohammed, for hosting me today.
Thank you, sir.
And I wanted to explain. I wanted to express my honor to be with you today.
Thank you. It's our great honor.
Already, the Ministry of Tourism launches something which I like it very much. The new campaign for Arab markets, and which is already by one of the superstars, Dunya Samir Ghanem, which is well known in the Arab world and is very well known. And now it's coming with the new trends for the Arab markets. Now Arab markets looking mainly for the leisure tourism. And now already with this campaign, I found the feedback within the last 3 days was amazing already in the market, which is doing already a new awareness about the new Egypt, which we are doing now, the promotion for this in the Arab markets. You know, it was the old vision that Arabs come here only sometimes for Cairo or only to come and visit Cairo. No.
But summer is their time anyway. I mean,
I
this
know
is their
summer
time.
season. Yeah, Arab market is very important, Mr. Muhammad. For information, the Arabs spent in outbound tourism almost $40 billion US, which is a big number. And the international average room rate for tourism is $100 for Arabs. From Saudi Arabia, from Kuwait, from Qatar, from Emirates, average room rate is 500 up to 550 US dollar. Also, I want to share with you a figure about the Arabs.
Yes.
The average daily expenses per Arab per day, we are talking about $2,500, which is amazing.
Per person?
Per person.
Yeah, that is a big
I was in an international event in Switzerland, and they were sharing this info with us, and this was a surprise for me about these figures. So it means the Arab markets targeted by all the tourism destinations, and they're doing a lot of efforts to promote their destination to Arabs. So we are worth to have this kind of share from the Arab market, or especially with this new campaign. I like
bloggers are involved as well, right?
Yes, I like bloggers was involved in this, and I found some influencers in social media like Instagram was already on this campaign, and it was making awareness the sea. And what we have, for example, now in North Coast, in Sharm el-Sheikh, in Hurghada, as well as also, you know, on summer now, we have this kind of trendy hotels for 5-star, 5 deluxe.
Yes.
And there was this kind of luxurious tourism, which we are targeting now from Arabs. The most important thing for us, you think, is the revenue. And I think this coming, with the same traditions we have like Arabs, with the same quality of food or the high style of cuisine. So I would like to congratulate the Ministry of Tourism for this campaign. It was amazing.
Right, perfect. Yeah. So, in another important news item, we saw a German website lauding Egypt's efforts to revive tourism. German website Selkits Achipten has hailed Egypt's efforts to gradually revive tourism. The German website further lauded the Egyptian government's decision to lift all COVID-related entry restrictions for all travelers, whether nationals or foreigners.
Yeah.
And there was also a video on that German website, which is specialized in ancient Egypt and pharaonic civilization, and pointed out that Egypt is where the journey begins, and it showed a video aiming to promote Egypt as one of the world's favorite tourism destination. That followed something that was on CNN Travel that ranked Egypt up among the top 10 tourist destinations worldwide in 2022. Could you tell us how we can best benefit from such reports?
You know, Mr. Muhammad, after the Corona crisis, I think all the world was suffering from this issue.
Yeah.
But I think Egypt, we had a chance during this time to do a lot of things with the Egyptian government here, which is really the good infrastructure which was happened here in Egypt. And I expect now, after this tough time for the last 2 years, maybe I'm very optimistic about the future, inshallah. I think it will be like a tsunami for the tourism to Egypt. I think Egypt in a good position now with the new destination that we have already on the North Coast, or whatever we have, the new attraction that we have. The good thing, when you share it with me now about the German, the German market is very important for us in Egypt. The German market, they are spending...
Especially in Hurghada, I think?
Especially in Rishti. I remember the first time I went to Germany, and went to the passport control, the officer asked me where I'm from. I told him I'm from Hurghada, because I know all of them, they like Egypt.
Yeah.
You know, he was happy because he visited Egypt many times, especially Hurghada. So the German market is very important for Egypt, because the German market, they spend on tourism almost 80 billion euro on yearly basis. And the good thing with German market, they like Egypt, and now we start here in Egypt to promote for them not only the traditional, only the the tourism for what the name, only to go for the Permis or the Saqqara or only Luxor. No, 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 no. We have many attractions. Instead of going to Mykonos or Greece, you can come to Egypt. And instead of going, for example, to Maldives, we have the same concept, by the way, already on the Red Sea Riviera, which is already equivalent to, with my appreciation to Maldives. I visited more than 135 countries worldwide. And I tried from east to west. And believe me, not because I'm originally Egyptian, but frankly speaking, we have a lot of attractions. Just only with some promotions, we can be in a higher position. As you mentioned on this report, Egypt already lifting the restrictions for Corona.
Yes.
I think now there's a good demand in Egypt. I expect the winter will be very potential. Summer from now, all the figures showing there is very good demand from Arab market now to Egyptian market. I expect also American market, by the way, on the last period, I found very good demand from the American market to Egypt, which is very good. The American market is very good.
People are hungry or thirsty for tourism again, because I mean 2 years ago in the midst, or 1.5 years ago, in the midst of the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic, there were some numbers that said that global tourism went down something like 70% or something?
More than, yeah, almost between 70 and 80% was a big issue. But now I think you can see in the news that in some airports in London or in Germany, there was stuck in many luggages in the airport because some airports already was fired some people, unfortunately, because of Corona. They never expected their tourism will return heavy like this. So it was something unbelievable already worldwide. That's why I'm telling you, I'm very happy now with what we had done in the last 2 years during this time with the new infrastructure, with the new roads that we have done. So now people who return back to Egypt, they will find a very strong infrastructure and very new hotels with the concept that they can never expect in Egypt now. And also the good thing that especially now with the new approach for opening the new Egyptian Museum.
Yes.
I think it will be a very good
the Grand Egyptian
exactly,
Museum.
the Grand Egyptian Museum. I think I would like to thank Dr. Khaled Anani for his efforts. He's very effective already and very active already with this issues with museums, and I think we need some already awareness in the world about the opening for this the Grand Egyptian Museum, because I think this one, with my appreciation to L'Ermitage in Russia, which is one of the best, I think this one would be more and more a point of attraction for the Egyptian.
It's been described as, the biggest cultural city in the world, not just a museum. This is what it's going to be like.
Exactly.
And I guess NEMIC has also found a great success, the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization.
Yes.
That too has found already big success.
Yes, yes. I think this
even
one,
on the domestic side.
even in domestic side, which is good already also to teach already, or to let our new generation to know their civilization. This is something very important.
Raising awareness.
Of course, it's very important for all our children to know what was our history and what we have. It's a great civilization that we have.
You mentioned, Dr. Hamzawi, more than once that, what we did in the past 2 years. So I want you to tell us what you think were the most important steps taken by the government and the private sector, and also what do we need to do in the upcoming stage?
I think now with this, the good infrastructure that we have and what the new opening that we have already, we need to have some more marketing campaigns in different markets worldwide, because Egypt deserves more than this. I think now we should have more activity and more parties, for example, international parties, to have some international parties to be held in the new something near to the, like Tahrir Square. Tahrir Square, yesterday I have some friends from India, by the way. It was the first time for them to come here to Egypt, and they are working in technology. And when I was with them in one of the hotels in the downtown in the evening, when they saw Tahrir Square and the Nile, they told me, how comes they never have something like a big parties here in this place? I think we should have some activities in Tahrir Square near from this obelisk and this new what we have.
Yeah.
Also the same we can do for the new civilization.
It's an iconic square after all. I mean,
Frankly
no one
speaking,
will ever forget. I mean, 2011.
Believe
yeah?
me, Mr. Mohammed, I
2013.
went many times to the States and I was studying in the States. By the way, in New York was my appreciation to Times Square. We have Tahrir Square, which I think is more unique and
Yeah.
more, frankly speaking, more unique, and it can be some more parts all around the year in this place. We can hail this kind of events. Also, we can work mainly on the international events, like sports events, like the
Right.
events like.
We're going to have COP27, of course, in Sharm el-Sheikh in November.
yes.
And I guess this is one area, Dr. Hamzawi, where Egypt really picked up, conference tourism. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
This kind of events like conferences and conferences tourism is very important. And I would like to thank the President Sisi that he's take care about this by himself already,
Yeah.
and already to attend most of the international events of the international conference which he held here in Egypt. This kind of events is a good opportunity to show to all the attendees from all over the world in indirect way what we have in Egypt on the land. People, when they come to the events, of course, they will stay in hotels, they will spend the money, they will go for gifts, and also they will be like ambassadors for Egypt outside. When they return
We've
back.
had also international youth conferences, conference for Arabs, for Africans.
Yes.
I mean, Sharm el-Sheikh,
Even
the
for
city of peace, has
arming,
always...
for tourism, and I heard from one of my friends it will be another calendar for international events, and I'm very happy to hear this. They have a lot of events will come for the next 2 years. Egypt
Sure.
would like to hear.
And COP27, I mean, the whole world is waiting for it.
Of
after
course,
all,
I
yeah.
think there is no single room maybe we can find in Sharm el-Sheikh, and because of this, Sharm el-Sheikh or Egypt deserves more and more, I think.
Since we've talked about Sharm el-Sheikh, and we talked earlier about the German market and their presence in Hurghada, I cannot talk about Sharm el-Sheikh and not mention the Italian market. So, and we have news here, Dr. Al-Hamzawi, that Minister Khalid Al-Anani held talks with Ivina Jelinic, the president of the Federation of Italian Tourism Companies, recently, and the meeting was held at the Egyptian Embassy in Rome. As Egypt plans to try to attract more and more Italian tourists, and visits will include Sharm el-Sheikh and other tourist cities in South Sinai, a favorite destination really for the Italians here in Egypt. So what can you tell us about that
Mr. Mohammed, the
special market?
Yes, of course, a special market. I remember when we were young, when we went to Sharm el-Sheikh, I think it was an Italian city. It's not an Egyptian city, because it was one of the most preferred cities for the Italian market. Now I think the good thing with the Italian market, they like to go mainly for the Ritzy Rivera, which is Sharm el-Sheikh, and also Marsa Alam, for example. Marsa Alam, one of the most preferred destinations for the Italian market. And the good thing now, I hear it from one of my friends also now, they start to go for the North Coast, which is very good now to promote the Mediterranean Sea. Although Italy on the Mediterranean Sea, and they like, of course, most of the Italians to go for their cities, for example, like Napoli or
We cannot be talking about the Mediterranean and not mention the Mediterranean Games that are ongoing now in Algeria, by the way, and a great success for Egyptian athletes there. Sorry to have, but just when I heard
we
the
have many
Mediterranean,
success on this,
I had to mention the Mediterranean Games, a great competition event organized by Algeria, by the way. Congratulations. Yes.
So already now I see that there is a demand also from Italy to the north coast of Egypt, and I think there will be some charter flights now. It will be starting to go for Al Alamein already.
All right. It's amazing, Dr. Hamzawi, that you mentioned the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
At the time when we are going to see what's going to happen there in Algeria and the closing ceremony of that great event organized by Algeria. We'll be taking a short break, dear viewers, and we'll be back with Dr. Hamzawi to continue our program here. Please stay with Nile TV International.